It's that time again. Did you miss me? Welcome back, Tamers, and of course, it's the King's Court. I know it's been a while since we did a Digimon profile. This is supposed to go up a while ago, but timing and me being forgetful kinda prevented that. Plus, Pokemon Week was last week, so yeah. So, this is, as the title suggests, a first place Machinedramon deck profile. I've gotten first place a few times with this deck, and of course, gone third. Unfortunately, tiebreakers did hurt, so that's why I got third place. But before we get into the deck profile, I want to remind you all, if you can, to like, comment, subscribe, and of course hit that bell for notifications, so you can be the real king and know when we're uploading. Also, follow our Instagram page. Link will be down below in the description box. So yeah, so we ran Machinedramon. I know you don't see it yet, but yeah, so we ran Machinedramon. Played against Black Greymon X a few times. It's an okay matchup. Played against Wargreymon X. Unstoppable Force means immovable object. Played against Exxon. It is an annoying matchup. Played against Bailstar, which was actually pretty interesting, but they never drew the option to just blow away all our materials, so yeah. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start with our eggs. We are running 4, and of course we are running 4 copies of Pagumon. I haven't got a chance to adjust the build to what the Oceania build is playing, where they were playing Doremon, Caramon, all that, and a few other cards. So this is how it is right now. This is work for me, so we'll try that build eventually, but right now this is what I've been running. So for Pagumon, if you don't know what Pagumon does, on deletion, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a black Digimon, add to your hand. If not, put it on the bottom. We only hit maybe... So besides option cards, our Tamer, and the few red cyborgs we have to play, you will hit probably most of the time. And this can be pretty good. It will net you advantage. I had one game where I needed a Chaos Ramon to win. Swung in with my rookie with this underneath, and hit my Chaos Ramon. So, pretty good. On to our rookies. Let's go ahead and start with our first playset, which of course is going to be 4 copies of EX1 Hagurumon. Simple effect. Discard a Digimon with machine or cyborg in the traits and draw 2. Speed kills, and in this deck it's probably one of the best cards to go ahead and use because it allows us to get through our hand if we need to get cards. You can just Digivolve it if you need to. I like Digivolve playing it, and then I have the memory Digivolve this in the Guardramon. Like if your opponent goes 4, they didn't have much, you can go play this, then go Guardramon. You've advantaged enough. Pretty good. And 2K kind of comes up in handy. For our next rookie, I did a 2-2 split. We were playing 2 copies of Starter Deck 13 Chikurimon and 2 copies of Chumon. I shouldn't need to explain what they do, but just to be safe. Can reduce play cost, and your opponent can gain memory effects. Against Dorbrick, both these hurt. And against Bailstar, both these hurt. And other matchups, they really don't matter. The 3K comes in handy when you need to swing over one of these. But other than that, like, yeah, they came in handy. I really want to, I could change them out to go 4 of one and 4 of the other. But for right now, 2-2 split worked fine. I really didn't need to change it up. Note that the Oceania list was playing some Doremon and Caramon. I have considered that, but at the moment I don't really want. I'll try it later, but for right now this is what worked. Maybe I'll try it on our next competitive tournament, which is actually going to be at the time of recording this Monday. So today's Sunday. I'm the time of recording, so Monday we'll have our competitive tournament. So for champions, give me a second to take a drink of my drink. I'm a little dry mouth. Thank you. So for our next champions, we're playing 1 copy of Mechanori and 4 copies of Guardramon. First off, I do like how the fact that both these Digimon have cockpits in them, so you could ride them if you needed to. So if you don't know what Mechanorimon does, it is a blocker for 4 cost. And then he can attack, and when he blocks an attack and survives, you can unsuspend him. Which means against certain decks, he's a pretty good wall. Maybe would run 2. It's a 3 cost evolution. It's a little too high, but you never want to evolve into this anyway, unless like you have nothing else. Gargemon. 2 cost to default over level 3. He can attack, he's a blocker, but is it inheritable is probably the best thing. When you attack, you can trash one Digimon with Machine or Cyborg in the traits and draw 2. It's the Hagurumon as an inheritable, which lets you dig. Only problem is you may not always activate it, may not always want to. But that's because you can deck out, and I'll be honest, I have almost decked out this deck a few times. So yeah. And that was it for all the smaller Digimon, because now we're going to go into the top ends. So we're going to start with our first batch of level 5s. And we'll go over. So we got to get a lot out of here. So first off, we're going to start with our smallest one. One copy of EX3 Cyberdramon. You could replace this for the Gigadramon that gives 2k during your opponent's turn. Because honestly, or you play with the Megadramon that gives 2k during your turn. The reason I like this is because there are times that you block with your Machinedramon if you have it, then use Analog Man to redirect. You have Machinedramon sitting at 13k or Chaos at 14, so it's really good. But like I said, it's something that you can adjust. I might tech the Gigadramon, see how it works, but for right now, this is what we ran. Or you can run Volcanomon for an extra security check, but I didn't really feel that was necessary. Alright, for one of the 7s, we're playing one copy of EX1 Megadramon, one copy of EX1 Metal Mame, one copy of EX1 Metal Greymon, and one copy of BT11 Gigadramon. This is the only one, maybe this one. Megadramon on play, if you ever need a hard play, you could pop 2, would have 3k or less, fine. And then we have Inheritable, we have Machine or Dragonkin, gains 3 attack +1. Oh no, I did Machine in his traits, excuse me. Metal Mamemon, when you Digivolve, you look at the top 3, and search add one Digimon card with Machine in his traits, that's level 6, to your hand and trash the rest. This can be good unless you mill only Analog Man, but I've never had it be only Analog Man. Metal Greymon. When attack, you can delete a Digimon. Delete attacking a player, delete a Digimon with 4k or less DP, and gets piercing like you have Machine or Dragonkin. Really, really good. Again, you really don't want to Digivolve into these. The only one I would say is maybe Giga, besides Metal Mame, because it has jamming and gives Reboot as the inheritable, so it lets you swing in pretty much for free. And now we have 2 copies of Metal Tyrannomon, 2 copies of Andromon, and then 2 copies of Megadramon. So we want enough names, which you'll see when we get to the last bit of level 5. So we want enough names that we have different names, but we also want to make sure we hit some of the materials we want. So it gets Blocker from starter deck. That's the only thing you care about with this Megadramon. Andromon gets Blocker and Metal Tyrannomon gets Reboot, but it has the same on Digivolve effect as the Metal Mame. Look top 3 at level 6, trash the rest. Self-explanatory, really good cards. The ratios are fine. I haven't needed to. Sometimes I don't get the Reboot, sometimes I don't get the Blocker. But because of Analog Man, that's not as much of a problem now. Alright. And our last level 5s are really, really good ones. So 2 copies of BT8 Metal Greymon. Anyone who knows Black War Greymon X knows how ridiculous this card can be. When Digivolving, you DD12 1. Pop at 3k or less. Then Inheritable, what you have Machine Dragonkin, attack and unsuspended. Honestly, this is how you deal with so many problem cards in the deck. This lets you get rid of a lot of problems. You can get rid of Death X if you have material set up for it right. This can let you get rid of Floodgate Digimon. There are many that affect the deck, so yeah. If this card gets hit, we can always replace it with a few other cards, but like we could put in the Metal Greymon that gets Security Attack +1 if you have Reboot. So yeah. 2 copies of the new BT11 Metal Tyrannomon. So it's when Digivolving and on-play effects are actually not that bad. It's for each green and black tamer you have, suspend with your opponent's Digimon, and then they can't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. So I had it where my opponent was playing Black War Greymon X, and they had the Metal Greymon X that lets you trash top security. So I played this. I did delve into it because they gave me like 6-5 memory. Went this, suspended Black War Greymon X, or choke, or suspend something else. Chose Black War Greymon X, it couldn't unsuspend, which means it couldn't attack, it couldn't trash. And then I got rid of it the next turn. And then on and then all turns inheritable, which is probably the derpiest effect it has. Once per turn, all turns, when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash top card of your securities. Trash your top card of your opponent's security stack. So if you have the piercing and the attack active, you can attack, get through it, and then pierce through. And trash, get rid of 2 security, and if you have security check +1, you're basically hitting a lot of security. This has been very good. Not worth running at more than 2. If you want to cut it to 1, you could. I like it at 2, and yeah, I like it. Honestly, I don't know why. Just to piss off some of my friends, I wish they would make a black and blue cyborg that gives evade, just to make some of my friends salty. 1 copy of the BT1 Machinedramon. You'll never Digivolve into this. You'll never hard play it. And just gives security attack. It has security attack +2. You're never going to use that effect. Loses 5 memory when you attack. Never going to happen. But its inheritable is you gain 3k DP, which can make Machinedramon 14 and Chaosdramon 15k, which can actually give you some magic numbers to hit. 1 copy of Volcanomon. It's a blocker. You're never really Digivolve into it, but it can come up and give security attack +1. And our last 2 are 2 copies of BT9 Megadramon. On Digivolution, delete an opponent's Digimon or Tamer whose play cost is 3 or less, and if you have Machinedramon inheritable, if you are Machinedramon, the inheritable it gives that you can do the same effect. Really good. It keeps Crossheart contained. It keeps it did keep Massamon somewhat contained because you can pop the yellow source or purple, but now they have Murray, so that really doesn't matter. But this can actually help with Ulforce, as you can pop the arenas. All right, now we can go into the cyborgs, or excuse me, we can go to our level 6s, which are the bread and butter of our deck. So we're gonna start off with the new guy. The new guy in town. The new kid in town. I heard you, the new kid in town. 2 copies of BT11 Machinedramon. So, what does he do? Well, when Digivolving or on play, you may reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 Analog Man to your hand, and 1 card machine or cyborg in its traits you can either add to your hand or place it underneath the Digimon under this card. Trash the rest. So, if you build up into the stack, you should get 2 sources, like, say, Ryu and Blocker, which is really good. And then you get an Analog Man. Sometimes you can actually play the Analog Man that same turn. Now then. And it's non-deletion effect. You can place an Analog Man to the bottom of your deck, then play 1 Machinedramon from your hand without paying the memory cost. So, what Machinedramon will we play? Well, you could play this one out, because it didn't say that I can't play this one. But you could play this one. But the more likely option is to play one of our 4 copies of EX1 Machinedramon. I do want to mention that I have thought about replacing and going 3-3, but right now 4-2 has been working. I might try out 4-3, see how it works. 3-3, see how it works. But for right now, we ran 2-4, and it worked out. So what does Machinedramon do? Well, on play, you may place up to 5 red and or black cards, level 5 cards with cyborg in their traits with different card numbers to from your hand or trash underneath him, and his individual sources, and gain 1 memory for each card. Which means if you play him out on your turn, if you have 2 memory, you play him out and you give your opponent 5. It's only a 7 cost. All turns you can't have his DP reduced. And all turns when he would be deleted, you can trash 2 level 5 cards underneath him, prevent the deletion. So, if you play off this, you're gaining 5 memory by playing this. It's pretty decent. And he is very, very strong. And thanks to a certain option card we play, we obviously get to have it most of the time. Plus, early on, hard dropping this and your opponent can't deal with it is kind of nice. And our final level 6, the big boss, the big daddy. 3 copies of EX3 Chaosdramon. So he can devolve for Machinedramon on top of Machinedramon for 1. So if you don't have Analog Man, you can devolve for this on top of the BT11 Machinedramon, or even EX1 if it's been used up. But I like to devolve on top of a stack and get all the inheritables. So, what does he do? Well, on player when digivolving, you choose up to 3 Digimon with red or black Digimon cards with level 5, with Cyborg in their traits, and if you have card numbers, put them on trash or hand underneath him as sources. But instead of gaining memory, you trigger Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. Now, you can't do... Because the ruling for this card is you can't select... Say your opponent has 3 Digimon that each are Digivolved. You can't go, okay, I'm going to Digivolve this one, and this one. No. It has to be all in the same. So basically think Ultimate Flare, but without the popping. And then all turns, if he would be deleted or be returned in a hand or deck, you can trash to save it. God, having that ability alone is great. Chaosdramon X, what we get in BT12. Oh my god, it's going to get all the inheritables of all the Machinedramons and Chaosdramons underneath it. Excelente. Chef's kiss. Oh god, I'm forgetful today. I guess our question of the day is, what are you guys enjoying about BT11? Are you guys playing against a lot of Black War Greymon X? Are you guys worried about it? Did you guys go to Nats? All that good stuff. Please leave it down below in the comment section. And also, what kind of content do you want to see us produce in the future? Next, our Tamers. And we only run 4. We only run 4 copies of Analog Man. Which gets rid of one of our options we were playing, which was Ultimate Connection, because we no longer need it. So what does it do? So start your main phase by trashing 1 level 5 card with Cyborg and the traits, gain memory, draw a card. So since it's a Tamer effect, memory blockers don't stop it. And then opponent's turn. When your opponent declares an attack on a player, you can suspend this Tamer, switch to the attack of one of your level 6 with Machine in the traits. So you're going to automatically always have it go to your Machinedramons. Oh god, this makes it so much easier to deal with wide boards, because you can just have your opponent just swing into your Machinedramons and trigger effects. God, this has helped so much against a Bloom Lord who they would just suspend, you couldn't do anything. Examon has that same problem. Oh my god, I love this card. This card has been a savior for the deck. It sucks that we can't play Kazu or anything like that, and that's why the suspending effect really doesn't come up for, say, Cyberdrome, which I might replace it. But thankfully, this has been such a good card. Now for options, we're only playing 5. We are playing only 3 copies of Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon, and then 2 copies of Iron Fisted. Iron Fisted is easy enough. I had a game where my opponent had 3 Bale Stars, and he was worried because he was going to run into this. Because if you don't know, it just says lead all your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost, and then you activate the mana effect in security. So if he had hit this in security, it would have deleted all his Bale Stars, and he had none left. So that would have been pretty funny. And then finally, Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon. You know who you are when I'm saying this. No, this card is not strong enough to get banned, because this is the only deck that plays it. It's not going to hide to your deck. No. Anyway, so what does the card do? You can trash 1 card with Cyborg or Machine in its traits in his hand to have all your level 6 Digimon in their traits gain Rush, and on play, if they have sources, Blitz. The way it'll work is if you play Machinedramon, and then, so use the effect. So what'll happen is, you'll play it, so they gain Rush. You'll play this. On play, you can trigger the on plays the way this works. You'll trigger the on play of Machinedramon to gain the 5 sources. Then on play, gain this effect. Simple. And then finally, its security effect. You may trash 1 Digimon with Cyborg Machine in its traits to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with whose play cost is less than or equal to the card you dished. If you dished any of your Machinedramons or Chaosdramons, you're getting rid of a Mega. But sometimes you don't need to. And like I said, because it doesn't come up that effect that often. So, that's the deck. We've been getting we got first place with it, and honestly, feels good to play my favorite card, favorite deck out of for all. No Death X and no like Blitz Omni, because you really don't need either. I mean, they could help, but you don't need it. But yeah. So with that being said, guys, I am Michael, your resident thick boy of the Golden State Kings. Thank you all for watching. And stay tuned for our next video coming out soon. See you later.